Alright guys, in this video I'll be covering Hyper Light Drifter, a 2D action RPG developed by Heart Machine. So some players think this game is a hybrid of Link to the Past and Dark Souls, but the creator intended it for it to be a hybrid of Link to the Past and Diablo, which I think is more accurate. One of the coolest things about Hyper Light Drifter is that you can walk into a new area, be confronted with tons of enemies, but clear the room without dying if you're quick enough to react. I think that's really cool in a game like this, which actually has legitimate challenges that you can actually overcome them if you're really present, if you're there. Thanks to the game's simple mechanics and UI, I know what to do in most given situations. It's just a matter of execution. There's not a lot of tutorials on the controls, and they're easy to pick up, but I'd say that they're hard to master. I'm gonna note that the user interface is definitely better on a controller, and the game opens up by telling you exactly that. As someone who personally prefers mouse and keyboard in most games, I didn't have a hard time using my Xbox remote while playing this game. The levels of Hyper Light Drifter are well designed. Some paths are clearly laid out for you and others are well hidden, but overall satisfying to discover. There's never really came a point where I felt like I was failing because the level wasn't well designed or I couldn't find my objective. There's something I think I should say though. Occasionally you'll come across an area with these sliding blocks, and at first you might think of thwomps from Mario dropping from the ceiling, at least I did. But it was kind of hard to perceive what axis these blocks was moving on, so at first I died a few times because I thought they were dropping from the ceiling. But after looking a little more closely, I could tell that they were sliding. Having that clarification made it easier to progress. Now as I progressed through the game, I started to ask more and more questions about who I was and what was really happening, but there isn't really much of a story, at least not one that's told directly to you. There's no narration or dialogue of any kind, and the bits of story you do get are through cinematics and imagery. I think I enjoyed this aspect of the game a lot because it allowed me to come up with my own story, and that gave me a huge sense of identity, even more than some games with a story. Like I said, imagery is huge, and the art in this game helps tie in little bits of story elements. Artistically, Hyper Light Drifter is beautiful, not just the world, but the enemies, the weapons, the animation. The music is nice and it fits into the world. I'd say this game has a credible ambiance and that makes you want to explore, which is what you're supposed to do. I give this game a rating of 8 out of 10 and I recommend that you buy it.